Bernie was recently speaking at MoveOn's Big Idea conference, and Bernie used his time to basically outline his foreign policy. It was absolutely masterful. Check it out.
All of you know there are many enormously important issues, including the need for Medicare for all, forgiving student debt and making public colleges and universities tuition-free, raising the minimum wage, criminal justice reform, immigration reform, and addressing the global crisis of climate change, among other issues. But there is one issue out there that does not get the attention that it deserves, a very big idea, and that is the need to stop endless wars and to bring the world together to find diplomatic solutions to international conflict. Today, we are preparing to send soldiers to Afghanistan who were not even born on September 11, 2001. We have spent $5 trillion on the wars that have taken place since, not just in Iraq and Afghanistan, but also in the Saudi-led intervention in Yemen, a horrific war. And now we have some of the same people that got us into the war in Iraq trying to start a military conflict with Iran. We have got to stop endless wars. We have got to cut military spending. Now, recently, I have been attacked because of my opposition to unnecessary wars. I make no apologies as a young man for opposing the war in Vietnam. I make no apologies as a congressman for doing everything that I could to prevent the disastrous war in Iraq. And I am proud right now to have led the effort to get the United States out of an unauthorized, unconstitutional war in Yemen. And let me be absolutely clear, with the Trump administration proposing to send 10,000 troops to confront Iran, I will do everything in my power to stop a war with Iran. It is time to bring our troops home from Afghanistan and Iraq. It is time for Congress to assert its constitutional prerogative and repeal the 2001 and 2002 authorizations that have been used as a blank check to send U.S. troops into harm's way. But it is not enough to just end military interventions. It is time to end the entire policy of endless wars. Using war and militarism as the first and only foreign policy tool has undermined the United States' moral authority, caused allies to question our ability to lead, drained our treasury, and corroded our own democracy. When we end endless wars, we can finally begin to ask ourselves, how do we move toward a global community in which people have decent jobs, adequate food, clean water, education, healthcare, and the housing that they need?
This guy's the truth, dog. This guy's the truth. I don't think it's ever been better stated than what he laid out right there. The progressive foreign policy plan. That was just perfect. That was absolutely perfect. My favorite point that he made there, regardless of these wars are terrible, they're a waste of resources, it was the fact that he linked it to the domestic priorities that we are now neglecting because of these wars. I think that was key. That's what's going to win a national election right there. When you talk about, yes, we are killing thousands of civilians. Yes, they're a tremendously destructive force for the region. Yes, these are terrible, terrible, unconstitutional uses of our power. But when you make the point that it is directly affecting our domestic priorities at home, education, healthcare, our infrastructure, when you make that point, it's dangerous. That's dangerous. I love that. I love that. And I love that he's making this a priority, right? In 2016, you saw Bernie be kind of shy about these types of foreign policy issues. The question came, he'd stumble across his words. He didn't really know exactly what to say. It just wasn't a strong suit. But now in 2020, what you're seeing is a guy who feels so confident about this issue that he's making it one of his top priorities. Right up there with healthcare, right up there with education, right up there with income and wealth inequality, right up there with all of that. He's making foreign policy a tremendous part of this progressive agenda that he's putting forth. And again, I think that's how you're going to win a national election. When you look at a guy like Joe Biden, this is a guy who voted for the Iraq War. This is a guy who voted for the Afghanistan War. This is a guy who throughout his presidency with Obama was engaged in 7 conflicts across the globe. This is a hawk. This is a hawk. He has been a hawk throughout his whole career. So when you make that distinction that I'm a person who stood against this for 30, 40, 50 plus years, and now I'm saying not only should we not be engaged in these conflicts, we're going to cut military spending, and we're going to spend some of that money on progressive priorities. It's linking the entire agenda together. And that is powerful. That is going to win an election right there. So, again, man, I couldn't say it better myself. I don't think anybody could say it better. That was masterful. That was masterful. And that's going to be what helps him win in 2020.